Good morning, students. Welcome to All Force e-learning classes. Today, from economics first year, I am going to teach you fourth unit. Today is the first day of fourth unit. That is production analysis. Economics first year, unit 4, production analysis. Let us have a little bit of discussion about what is meant by production. Meaning of the word of production. In general, production means we think, creating something, manufacturing something, doing something. In general language, these all words or sentences may represent the same meaning. Production, making something new, creating something new, maybe in day-to-day language. But here in economics, there is a perfect or different concept to present what is production. Some says that production means conversion of raw material into final goods. But what is final good and what is an intermediate good, we cannot define exactly. Sometimes a commodity which is final for something may not be a final good for another industry. That may be a raw material to another industry. So that's why in simplest language we express that conversion of inputs into outputs can be called as production, or transformation of inputs into outputs. Inputs transformed into output. That output may be a final good or an intermediate good. We cannot exactly define or justify. For example, for an agriculturist, cotton seed is input. What does he produce? Cotton. That is output. See, input transformed into output. That output becomes input for a yarn manufacturer who makes a yarn. He takes this input, cotton, he turns it into yarn, that is going to be output. See, input transformed into output. And this output, yarn, is going to become input for a cloth producer. See, every time one output is turning into another input. That cloth, that yarn turns into or transformed into cloth. That is an output. That cloth is input for a ready-made dresses maker or shirt maker. What he do? He takes that cloth input and he transforms it into a shirt. See, the seed input turned into a final good of shirt on your back. Every step is transforming. But you cannot say the cotton is the final good, or cloth is final good, or yarn is final good. Every time it is transforming from input to output. So the final output or final good is my shirt or your shirt. This can be called as transformation of inputs into outputs. That is production in the basic level. And this production can be tangible or intangible. Tangible means goods, intangible means services. Yeah, here what is getting produced? I am producing education. What are my inputs? This is my input. This board, this chalk is my input. I am using all of them. My knowledge is my input. My books are my inputs. Finally, what the output I am giving? The knowledge. My input is, my knowledge is my input, and your knowledge is my output. One day you are going to use this knowledge as input and you are going to make big decisions in the coming future at the level of production, etc., etc. That will become your output. So this is all production, transformation of inputs into outputs. Clear? Okay, we have seen what is actually meant by production. Now we will see the total analysis. And this production always depends on factors of production. What is meant by factors of production? We have seen factors means resources. Without any resources, you cannot do anything. So these factors or these resources going to help one person to produce the goods and services. Okay, you got the point? Goods and services are produced with the help of factors of production. In the first chapter itself, in the first lesson itself, I told you there are 4 factors of production: land, labor, capital and organization. But now this time I am going to add one more, that is technology. Nowadays this world is a technological world, tech world. These 4 are supported by technology. The production will multiplies. In fact, these 4 factors really helps the production. But this 4th factor, technology, nowadays making all the difference with these 4 factors. If these 4 factors have to multiply their output, then the 5th factor is needed, that is technology. Now today we are going to see these 4 factors: land, labor, capital, organization, along with technology, how they causes this production. Okay, in this production analysis we are going to see the factors of production, variable production analysis, okay, and returns to scale and economies to scale, and we will say supply law or supply analysis, and we see the cost analysis and revenue analysis. Actually, most of the important all topics are put into this 4th chapter. Production creates supply. To do the production, we need 4 factors. Whatever being spent by the producer on these 4 factors is the cost. Thus, cost analysis also in this production analysis. And when the commodities are produced and that is being sold in the market, then producer will get the revenue. That revenue is going to be part of production analysis. So we are not going to study just simple production analysis. In this production analysis, you will see variable proportions, we will see returns to scales, we will see economies of scale, and we will see supply analysis, we will see cost analysis, and we will see revenue analysis. So before that, we will see the 4 factors of production along with 5th one, and now we are going to study this from the beginning of land. Land is the first factor of production. Everything starts from land itself. Generally people think land means soil. No, land does not mean only soil. Everything that comes from land is called as land. Water, minerals, forests, stones, granite, everything that comes from the land, which is free or which is a gift of nature. Generally people uses free gift. Free gift, one of these words is redundant. It is not needed. Actually one word is enough. Either we get it free or it is a gift of nature. Okay, so this gift of nature characteristics we are going to see. All the characteristics of land. First one is it is a gift. It is gift of nature or the God. He given us this land and we are getting everything out of that land. So that is the basic thing, first factor of production. Without land, can you imagine anything is there? Where we will be? On the water? No. We need the land, even though it is only 1/3 of the total of our earth, but that is the place where we all survives. So whatever the gift of nature, they all comes under land. Minerals, ores, forests, water, granite stones, mountains, everything comes under the land. It is gift of nature. Next we will see supply of the land is fixed. You cannot increase the supply of land because it is not created by human beings. We cannot create the land. So supply of the land is fixed. Okay, for a particular purpose, it is relatively elastic. Certainly, if I put more money, I will get more land. I can put it to some other purpose or some work. But can you create new land? No, not at all possible. So supply of land is fixed, and it is gift of nature. And next, immovable. Land is immovable. You cannot move the land. You can move the ore, minerals, soil, water, timber from one place to another place. You can cut the forest and you can move the timber. You can dig the land and move the soil, or you can move the water, minerals, but you cannot move the land itself. Is it really possible to move the land? No, it is not possible. If it is possible, what do? We simply go to a small village or a remote village and we will purchase 1 acre of land and we will move it from there, like Hanuman carrying that Parvat, and we will bring it to our town or our city and put it in the middle of the city and we start selling the land. But is it possible like that? No, you cannot move the land, but you can move the timber. Whatever comes out of the land, that can be moved. Water, whatever comes from the land can be moved, but land itself cannot be moved. It is immovable. Next, it got original powers, undestructible powers. Every land have different power, fertility rate, etc., etc. It got indestructible power. Here I have to quote David Ricardo in his definition of land and rent. He explains that land have indestructible powers. For the utilization of those indestructible powers by others, they have to pay the rent. So even though land is there, it has to be developed, it has to be settled. That's why it getting a price. Even though it is gift of nature, it is free, but still it have a price, because someone is settled that land, someone removed all the big stones, etc., etc., and he settled that land to agriculture, for the purpose of agriculture, and to construct a house for some purpose. For that efforts you need to pay something. Either you will pay the rent or you have to purchase it. So rent is the returns for indestructible powers of the land. So it got original indestructible powers. And next one is fertility. Fertility of land differs from place to place, one area to another area. Okay, it got different fertilities from one area to another area. Next, only humans can develop that. With the efforts of humans only, the returns starts. So human efforts are needed to use the land. It is one of the characteristics, and we accept that on land, if you go on changing one factor of production, keeping some fixed and variables, if you go on changing, the returns are going to diminish. We will get the diminishing returns on the land. If land piece is same, one single piece of land, remember this point, we are going to discuss in detail in the coming future. Land piece is same, like 10 acres, but only other factors you are going on changing, like labor or capital, but keeping only land as a fix, then automatically sometime if you go on increasing other inputs, still the returns are going to diminish. So it causes diminishing returns. These are the characteristics of land. Now we will see the second one, that is labor. According to our economics, labor does not mean only who works physically with hard work. No, anyone who sells their efforts, experience, knowledge, anything to get his wage, they all can be called as labor. This labor have some characteristics. Okay, here even I am a labor. In this college, from watchman to even principal, everyone is a labor, because everyone is selling their efforts, their time, their experience, their knowledge for wage. Who is not a labor in this total college? Organizer, the boss. He is not the labor, he is an organizer. he makes all these human workers work for this organization, and he produces the services of education. He is the only one who is organizer. All others, from watchman to principal, we all belongs to different categories of labor. That we will see in next topic. Okay. Now we will see the next steps, like labor characteristics. Inseparable. See, land can be separated from landlord. Land can be separated from landlord, and capital can be separated from the capital owner. But labor cannot be separated from laborer. Laborer. Laborer means the worker. Labor means the work. Okay. Noun and verb. Labor cannot be divided from laborer. Why it is so? It is like he is along with his labor. Without labor, he cannot be called as laborer. So here very clearly we can see that a laborer and his labor cannot be separated. They will go together. A capitalist and capital can be separated. He can put his money, some investment, and he can go for his work. And a landowner can give his land for rent and he can go somewhere. They can be separated. But labor and laborer cannot be separated. They are one with another. Next, perishable. Labor cannot be stocked. Labor is perishable. Means if I don't work today, I cannot do this work tomorrow. If I do work tomorrow, that is tomorrow's work. It cannot be called as yesterday's work. Even though if you are calling, I am doing yesterday's work today, but still you are working on that day. So that's why you cannot preserve your labor. You cannot outdo some 1 week after work today. It is perishable. If you didn't do any work today, then you didn't do any work today. That's all. If you get any salary for today's work, then you will get salary of today's work. And you cannot do today's work yesterday or tomorrow. Tomorrow whatever you are doing, that is tomorrow's work only. For our convenience we say, oh, I wanted to do this yesterday, but I am doing this today. Even though you are doing yesterday's work, but still you are doing it today. Yesterday is lapsed. So your labor is perishable. Yesterday's work is perished. You cannot do yesterday's work today. So in that way, here we can see labor is perishable. And that's why his bargaining capacity is very weak. He cannot preserve his work. That's why he cannot bargain with the owner or organizer. His bargaining power is very weak. He cannot fight, because if he is laid out, if he loses a job, till he gets another job, he cannot preserve his labor. That's why his bargaining power is very weak, and he is very less mobile. Generally, labor is, their mobility is very less. They cannot move very freely. Why it is so? See, I am an economics lecturer. I cannot become a physics lecturer within a day or two. Or I cannot do anything different from my job within a short period. See, my mobility from economics lecturer to something else is not so easily possible. Don't you accept that? Your father, let us assume he is a government employee. Tomorrow, all of a sudden, he can leave that government employment and he can do something else. It takes more time. He has to plan, he has to do something. That is called as less mobility. It takes more time. So that's why labor is less mobility. It got less mobility. And next, power differs. One labor and another labor, power differs. All labor cannot discharge same level of work. You have seen that even in your school also. All teachers are not same. All teachers does not deliver the teaching in the same level or same manner. See your PT sir, he is very good at it. playground, not in the classroom. Take your mathematics, sir. He's so good with mathematics. He's so good with mathematics. Can he teach Telugu or English? See, everyone have their own limitations. Their power is having some limitations. If you go to a different area, hard work, labor, there also, all the labor cannot do the same level of work. For women labor, less paid. For male labor, more paid. You have seen that difference. So all labor is not having the same level of power. It differs from person to person or labor to labor. Classifications. We will see 3 classifications of labor. That is totally unskilled, semi-skilled, skillful labor. I show you the example. Within your school, remember, unskilled labor. Who are unskilled labor? Who can do that work without any training immediately? They are unskillful labor. Like watchmen, ayamma, who brooms, who cleans. They are unskilled labor. Semi-skilled, like some people, they do different type of works. For example, mechanics in your van shed, they cannot do total work, but they do 50% of the work. Like your van is under repair, then what that fellow do? He removes the tire and he put the new tire. In that way, he is helping the people. That cannot be done by everyone. I cannot do that. I cannot remove a tire and fix another tire, or I cannot repair some parts of that engine or something like that. But he is semi-skilled in that job. He cannot do total work, but he can do part of work. He is semi-skilled. Then who is skilled labor? The people who are operating computer. The person who is driving, he is also a skillful worker. He is a skillful labor. He is skillful in driving. You have seen how he drives in those small areas, small streets. He is so good at driving. He is a skillful labor. And your teachers, skillful labor. They are very good at teaching you social studies, English, Telugu, what not. Every subject will be taught by those skillful labor. And your principal, he is more skillful than all these people. That's why he is become a principal. He knows almost all the subjects. That's why he can very easily control each and every teacher. He knows it by what time, how much syllabus is supposed to be completed. He is a very skillful labor. So we all are coming under the same labor emblem, but we have 3 classifications: unskillful, semi-skilled and skillful. And here we will see classifications. Labor supply curve. Actually, labor supply curve is always back bending curve. Labor supply curve is a back bending curve. Let me show you that here. Here we show the wage on y-axis. Here we show the labor hours on x-axis. What happens is, labor curve, as wage is increasing, labor hours also increases. As the wage increases, labor hours increases. But on a certain level, when the wage reaches to a certain level, he like to decrease his working hours. A labor at the beginning, as the wage increases, he will increase the labor hours. But at a high level of wage, he like to decrease his labor hours and he like to enjoy his wage. It happens everywhere. We can observe that in the real market. So here we can see labor supply curve is a back bending curve. See, back bending curve at a top level. Okay. These are the characteristics of labor. Next we will see division of labor. Division of labor means a work is being done by so many people. The work is divided into small parts and given to some people and make them to do that work regularly and daily. So that what happens, one worker becomes expert in that particular part of job. Actually, a long time back, due to some work, I went to Bajaj production unit at Aurangabad. There I have seen how they manufacture a scooter. You know, one or two people or 10 people won't sit one place and start fitting the scooter or car. You might have seen even in the TV how they make the car. It all happens online. Like there will be a big conveyor belt type thing. On that belt they will put the chassis and somewhere will put the tire. One person is doing one work continuously. At the end, scooter is manufactured, total body is completed and it is getting down. Even our shed, division of labor, how it happens? One person continuously stitching hands. He becomes expert in stitching only hands, and he will be running a machine which is suitable to stitch only hands. And another person is stitching only cuffs. And another person stitching only this collar. See, the machine which that person is running is suitable to turn and stitch the collar. See, different part of works is being done by different people. If 10 people sit together and if one person going to stitch total shirt, he can stitch only one shirt at a time. Means 10 people working, they can stitch only 10 shirts in a day. If they have to stitch one shirt, total, curves, hands, collar, everything, then he can stitch only one shirt a day. But by division of labor, these 10 people can stitch more than 50 shirts in a day. Because the person who is stitching the shirt, he has become an expert in stitching only hands, cuffs, collar, front part. See, this all will be gathered at one place and it will be restitched and shirt is being made. That is called division of labor. One person doing one work routinely again and again, he will become expert in that work. Did you ever seen this division of labor in your life till now, within this 15 years? Yeah, you have seen that. Exactly, you have seen. Where? In your school. One teacher is teaching Telugu, she is not teaching any other subject. Another one English. See, division of labor. Biology sir is different, physics sir is different, chemistry sir is different, math sir is different, social teacher is different. They all are divided their work and they all put together, they are doing their work. Is it not division of labor? Yeah, it's all division of labor. They are experts in their division. They are good with their work. They are continuously doing their work and final output is you yourself with 10 GPA ranking, you passed. You are the product produced by division of labor. If only one teacher has to teach maths, social, English, Telugu, Hindi, is it possible? Does the output comes perfect? No. So that is called division of labor in simple language. What are the advantages of division of labor? Let us see first. Productivity will be more. It is increased because he will become expert in that one particular topic. Inventions are possible with division of labor. One person is doing his work. He will become expert in that work and he will start inventing new methods of doing that particular work. And we can save a lot of time because he becomes expert in that work, that part of work, and he will be doing much better in that work. So time can be saved. And dexterity. And he can do the work with his hands. Okay, that is called dexterity. With that, he will be very good at doing his work, dexterity. And diversity is possible. Very easily one person can diverse himself to do something else. Diversity is possible. Because that one person who is stitching this collar, he can diversify to cuffs. Within one day, he will become expert with stitching the cuffs. Okay, diversity is also possible. Mechanization is possible. See, which machine is suitable for which work. That work will be done by that machine. So, mechanization can be implied into the work. And large scale production is possible with this division of labor. I told you, 10 people, only 10 shirts. But division of labor, 50 shirts. So, productivity increased. Production increased. Large scale production is possible. So in that way, division of labor have its advantages, and division of labor have some disadvantages too. What are those disadvantages? The first disadvantage of division of labor is monotony. We are going on doing the same work again and again and again and again. We sometimes lose our heart. We will become very tired with that same type of job doing every day, and we will become bored with that work, and people will become bored with the work, and their output will be decreased. Sometimes their real interest in the work may disappear, and we also can see unemployment is going to be a result, and he loses the skills to do something else. He is going to be skillful only in that work, but other works he will forget to do, and it retards the human brain skills. He will stop thinking. He will start doing the same work monotonously. His real knowledge will decrease. So we have seen today two factors of productions, land and labor. Tomorrow we will see capital and organization and technology. With that, this factors of production topic can be completed tomorrow. Okay, so till today, okay, good day students.